right, everyone. Welcome back to our next installment of our The One Ring campaign. This is book 4. We've had 3 books so far, lots and lots of chapters, dozens of chapters probably. If you want to catch up on that, click on over to the Blades and Blasters YouTube site. I put together a quick 5-minute video that's a recap of what's happened thus far. So you can watch that, and if you want to view the campaign, now's a good time to go ahead and jump in. So I'm not going to recap what's happened thus far. I think we're going to get right to it, folks. So welcome back to Middle Earth. It's been a long time. All right. It's now October 24th, 3015 of the Third Age. The leaves that adorn the trees of the Bruinen Valley are brilliant orange and red in the sunlight. But now the moon is overhead, starlight, silver and shining, casts all in glitter as the gloaming passes and night falls in Ladris. Rivendell, the last homely house of the elves, and one of the last strongholds of their people in Middle-earth, lays peacefully at the valley's bottom, through which runs the river Loudwater. In the starlight, it roars and rushes and glints with illumination. Though peace ever dwells in Rivendell, it is not without watchful eyes for protection. Even now, perhaps perched in a tree or tucked behind a boulder, an elf peers forth into the gloom, his sharp gaze letting no movement go unnoticed. This is Aglaron of Mirkwood. Near him may be a man of late middle age, by the name of Berendir. It's likely that this man of Gondor protects the valley because he knows what treasure it guards. The One Ring that must be kept from the enemy, no matter the cost. And finally, one stands stoically in the shadows, his sword sheathed, but ready for action. This is Dwarthrog, a Dunedain of the race of men, and descendant of that long line of noble blood. There's a brisk breeze, and the high, clear call of a nightingale can be heard on the wind. So basically, a couple of months have passed since the ring reached Rivendell. Dwarthrog is new to the party. He is a Dunedain that's kind of been called back to Rivendell to help guard it while the decision is being made regarding what to do with the One Ring. And Aglaron and Berendir have taken the chance to rest for a couple months. But just like most lands in Middle-earth during this time, the shadow is even encroaching into the safest strongholds. And so you guys have kind of been tasked to keep watch out at the rim of the valley this evening. So I'll let you take it away. Dwarthrog.
Anyone talking?
Sorry, I had my mute on. So Dwarthrog standing in the shadows, kind of looking at Aglaron and Berendir. Quiet night so far.
Perhaps too
Quiet indeed.
Perhaps too quiet, but nonetheless, find the silence to be most pleasing. If under different circumstances, I could find myself quite liking the place here.
Aye, it is beautiful. And I'm also the fan of the night as well.
Suggest we make another patrol. Perhaps you could tell us more about yourself, Dwarthrog.
Yeah, should I go share some of my amazing tales with you, even though probably less than your own?
We've swapped enough campfire stories. I know of your exploits and adventures, but where do you, the man, come from? I myself, I'm a soldier of Gondor, born and bred. Kind of sigh and kick the dirt a little as he shuffles. Find myself missing home very much.
Yes. Nothing like the sweet call of it. It's nice to have it in a mood from a few strongholds. Mostly I like to be on the move. Nothing good comes from staying in one spot too long.
I wish it away. The elf chimes in after listening to the men.
Yes. Another patrol then.
Well, what are we waiting for?
And you guys tread up the path. As the sun starts to travel overhead, you can see the starlight filter down through the trees of the autumn. And down below, the valley kind of gets further and further away as you head on your patrol. Eventually, you crest the lip of the valley and are not able to see down towards Imladris, but you can see far down below you, down to the south and to the west, where a path kind of crisscrosses in the night. Far, far down, maybe 300-400 yards, you see a figure, just a single speck in the gloom, crisscrossing its way higher and higher up towards the valley's edge. And I'm going to let Ghost go ahead and pose in, as he is being sent from Fornost to make contact with Rivendell.
Yeah, so how far away did you say I was? Sorry.
I don't know, 300 or 400 yards.
So, Grimbrand would have been sent from Fornost, a Bjorning who had actually been picked up on the way to the siege of Fornost, happened to be along the roadways when the young knights of Gondor were traveling, not doing anything too important. Decided to join in with the effort on behalf of his tribe and Bjornings. He had then stayed in Fornost for a time, just odds and ends representing his tribe, until he was tasked to return to come to Rivendell to bring word of the goings-on. And essentially Rembrandt is just walking along the roadways, perhaps humming a silent tune to himself, his spear slung over his shoulder, and approaching along the roadway.
As he gets closer and closer, the first one to spot any detail of the messenger would be Aglaron, whose vision even at night, I believe, is super keen. You can see that he's kind of covered in furs and he's walking on two legs. He's not mounted and appears to be alone.
Where a lone footman approaches. And at that, Aglaron will sort of meld into the brush.
Dothragan, hearing him say that would also stick to the shadow. What all do you see?
Seems to be a lone man. I cannot recognize him from here.
should see soon enough. Is he approaching fastly?
You two take to the brush. I'll go closer. Berendil unsheathed his sword and heft his great shield.
Yeah, that Deathfrog will knock an arrow.
As well, Aglaron.
My intentions were for the two of y'all to hop off the trail. That way it'll be one-on-one with the two of y'all as cover, if at all possible.
Right, Aglaron
And,
slip into cover.
Yeah, Deathfrog.
and not like, totally hostile, offensive, but with weapon and shield, I will saunter forward purposefully.
Dothrog will scan the woods alongside the trail, looking for any movement.
And roughly before I even begin to see like a silhouette or anything of a shape, I'll mutter out to the darkness, basically. Just go, "You there, slow your advance and identify yourself," as if I could see him clearly, basically.
And then Grimbrand, hearing this, would have seen the man approaching and kind of stops him. "Hello there! I am Grimbrand, the tribe of Theon, Bjorning. I come from Fornost."
Berendil let a little bit of silence answer and retort. He'll uninstinctively, or basically instinctively, look to either side of him if he could see his companions, but in the event he doesn't see his companions, the plan's going as accordingly, so he'll snap back towards the road ahead. He'll just go. He says, "Then continue forth. Lower your stance, no signs of aggression. I shall meet you."
"Very well." And he would kind of keep the spear shouldered, not so much in a stance where he'd fight with it, and continue walking, looking around.
Berendil, he's bold enough. He'll advance forward. Pretty much a stern, grim look upon his face. First looking for the silhouette of the man, and then immediately past the man into either side of him, assuming that he might adopt the same strategy that Berendir's already instigated. Waiting for that moment where the two of us can see each other in the darkness.
Yeah, as he gets closer and closer, Berendir, you can see the form of Grimblorn grow larger and larger. Eventually the moonlight starts to play off of his furs. You see a hulking, broad-shouldered man who nonetheless seems to be nearly unfatigued by his travels, kind of heading up what's almost a 45-degree slope. Strong legs, and besides his furs, he's not wearing much armor. He may be armed, but he's certainly not armored. And from what you can see, Berendir, he seems to be alone.
Yeah, to Berendir, he probably looks like a damn bear. Because Bjornings are like, what, 6'8" to 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Clad in that, mixed with his hair, he's immediately thinking to himself, like, by the gods, what is this? Is it Dunleydon, a troll? He'll advance and immediately try to look underneath I'm assuming if you have the bear pelt on your head, he'll start looking for the signs of the face to draw in, almost as if, he's an older dude with his vision's not as good as it used to be. He'll basically be strained in on your facial features more than anything, trying to ascertain if it is indeed human.
And Grimbrand would stop a fair distance away, but fair enough for them to speak.
Hello there. Is this the way to Rivendell? The last homely house?
Berendere stop and raise an eyebrow skeptically and just answer with a simple word of perhaps. Advance closer, if you would. Says, I am Berendere, son of Beranathir, soldier of Gondor, but not upon Gondor soil, it seems. You say you come from Fornost?
Aye, yes, from Fornost. And you're of Gondor. Those knights are from Gondor, the ones I fought alongside. Yes, good lads, strong.
You come closer and
Had those colors, too. Yes, strong lads.
Yes, I too was at Fornost. Led a small retinue of soldiers. Whelps, more like it. Green recruits, fresh cadets. 'Twas a grim battle.
Aye, but a victory.
Nonetheless, you say you come bearing news, perhaps?
Oh, yes, yes. I come bearing news. Yes, Fornost. Well, the biggest part of my news was that most of the construction is finished. It looks like a proper fortress now. Whatever a proper fortress is supposed to look like. Ha ha!
I see. And the one responsible for sending you here? His name?
What's his name? Some young... he was a bit of a fop, if you don't mind me saying. One of yours, though.
One of mine?
Aye. He was of Gondor. Bit of fancy man, not with the scruff like you have. Smooth-faced.
Is any of this ringing bell, or does he actually know a name by chance?
I was not given one in my defense.
I didn't give him any name.
Yeah, I'm not intentionally.
All the more reason to show that those whelps over there in charge are in need of leadership at some point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to leave amicable room there for just so I don't put him on completely on the spot, vice versa.
I'll just roll with something. We'll see.
He was a ginger lad, weird hair, had it in a ponytail, blue eyes, smooth face, had a bit of a scar on his cheek. Not the deepest of voice and a bit snivelly, with all due respect.
Erendril?
Aye!
Then Berendere immediately curse himself for having said the name out loud.
Aye, that's the one. Erendril. That one.
Berendere kind of let out a half-hearted chuckle. He says, I don't know if I would have used the word fop, but your description seems accurate enough. He'll turn to the darkness and just says, looks like you won't be adding any more bear trophies to your collection tonight, Aglaron.
At that, the elf gives a chuckle, steps back and onto the trail. Greetings, Bjornling. I am Aglaron of Mirkwood.
Well met, Aglaron of Mirkwood. I am Grimbrand under Theorn.
What's Dwathrog doing at this point?
He's still hanging back, scanning for any movement just in case.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to add in a quote. That notice I didn't tell Sim's character to come out. And I'll basically recap the story, assuming Aglaron's probably heard what he said anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It seems here that our friend has traveled from Fornos to give word that the renovations have been completed. Perhaps we should escort
welcome
him.
news. Indeed.
Since Dwathrog's kind of hanging back and kind of staying in reserve and really keeping an eye down on the other side of the valley and the trail, Dwathrog, for your first roll in Tor ever, why don't you give me an awareness check? Now, to do that, just click on your token. There should be a macro that says skills. Simply pick awareness, and your TN's going to be 14. Make yourself not wary, by the way.
Yep.
You rolled pretty well, regardless. We were fighting orcs last night. I was teaching him the combat system.
Is he still weary?
No, he's not wary. we were just messing. We were just messing around.
Way to start a game.
That
Sim.
orc fight's got me tired.
Man, this patrol's long.
Getting kind of worn out, guys.
So far down the valley, you're not distracted by this bear of a man. Your keen gaze strays down the mountainside, filters through the trees, and bathed in sunlight, you see another figure, and again, a very speck of gloom in the gloaming light of the evening. And this one, though, looks like it's mounted. Every once in a while, the starlight seems to shine on a glint of steel. But Dwathrog, you can see way down below a mounted figure approaching. And this one's probably 400 yards down the hill face at this point.
And he's heading towards the group.
Towards you guys. Yep, just the same as Grimbrand was.
Okay. 400 yards, you say? I'm trying to think what I don't want to get my spot out, and I don't know if this guy is with the newcomer or not.
Don't worry about it too much, man. This game is it's just a fun game. It's not
Yeah.
30-minute soliloquies and hand-holding.
I'll let out a whistle, like the sound, like, you know, like some of the scenery birds, but out of place.
I was about to say, too, you're a Dunedain. Do they speak Elven by chance?
I think he probably does.
I don't
Lore of
know.
Arnor. Yeah, we'll say you know a little bit of broken Elvish. You can also make a bad impression of a nightingale.
I was just trying to think of assets to give him too. If he's, I'm sure he's trying to think. He's got a lot on his plate, trying to juggle what he can and can't do due to unfamiliarity.
Yeah, well, because, you know, the other thing is not wanting to get my spot up. So if I holler, you know, that'd be Grimbrand a beat on me, right? Even though I'm a little ways back. Whereas if I make a poor impression of a bird sound, but that's looking me way. I am actually gonna howl.
Well, that's actually a very good rangery thing to do.
Yeah,
Shrill bird cry or something like that.
at least enough that you would know it's me. Like I would stick out from any of the sounds surrounding. Like Elrond might know it's a bad.
Yeah, the morning cries of whippoorwill at midnight. And what the hell?
realizing that I'm trying to get attention to him. So I'll do a little bird cry, like cuckoo.
We're in the hood.
So, but just enough that on the off chance he would be able to pick it up and realize that his attention needs to be either on me or someone's approaching.
Yeah, I think the wood elf would catch that more than even possibly the bee horning because they're outdoorsy.
Yeah. So is there something to see how bad my bird call would be, Lore Master?
Actually, that's a good
That's fine.
question.
Just RP it if you want, but if you want to make a check to see how good or bad it's going to be. Let's see here. Probably hunting.
Song.
Hunting?
Yes, yeah, hunting song.
Do hunting. That's a favored skill for you.
Good way of explaining how the game works too.
Yeah.
Utilize the hunting roll to let out.
All right. So as he's sitting there, he sees the man approach, and he's
Aglaron sort of cocks his head to the side and thinks, what a wonderful bird call. Then he glances around, sort of hisses to Berendir, I think someone else approaches. As he sort of slips back into the brush.
Yeah, Berendir doesn't even respond to the bird cry. He'll retort towards Aglaron. He's basically primarily focused on this big tall Bjorning in front of him. Then when he hears Aglaron's words, he'll immediately frown and cut an even higher raised eyebrow at Grimbrand, and he'll actually heft his shield and raise his short sword above the edge of the shield. He says, did you travel alone? Tell me quickly. And he'll look like he's trying to walk and keep you on the side of his shield, but he's also trying to advance, not towards you, but like away from you so he can look past you.
I always do. I'm a messenger. No need for baggage.
Berendil actually hiss. Says, do you know if you are followed?
Do I know if I was followed?
No. As far as you're aware, you weren't.
And
This person's coming from a different direction.
Grimbrand kind of looks down and just shakes his head.
No. I keep my eyes out even when I am sleeping. I would have known.
Berendil hiss, but he'll take charge. He says, you two back to the brush. He says, you there, messenger. Spin around and let us greet this comer.
I will unshoulder my spear and hold it in my hands. And
I will leave.
My plan is basically to keep Grimbrand separate from my two and basically interpose myself while leaving the potential to actually join him by his side, at the same time remaining defensive enough that if it is a trap on anyone's part, I can respond accordingly. I.e. raise my shield, engage the Bjorning, and have the other two fire whatever is needed for the situation. And yes, that's paranoia setting in.
Good.
Because we guard a precious secret.
You do. So as you look downwards through the path, this mounted figure, you can hear every once in a while the neighing of a horse. No human voices, though, and gets perhaps 200 yards away, and you see the figure kind of dismount and hit to the ground, and they pause. You see this figure kind of outlined in black kind of stroke the mane of the horse, and then it starts to lead the horse kind of by the reins, kind of up that large, that 45-degree incline. And you can't see him quite yet, but you hear, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Almost there. Almost there. I know it's been a long journey. And eventually he stops. You hear a voice kind of call out into the dark. If you're standing guard up there, you let off quite a foul odor. I have no small skill in hunting. Something smells like bear, wolf, partly dead anyhow. Show yourself. I come with good intentions. I seek Imladris, stronghold of the elves.
Rivendell will answer. He says, I seek, and he says, I seek Imladris. Does this seeker have a name? Identify yourself.
Indeed, I have a name, and I also have many titles if you should wish to know them. But in these northern lands, I fear that you may not be familiar with my name. And he kind of comes around the bend, and you see a richly clad man. Looks like this. For my name is Boromir, and I come from the southern land of Gondor. Denethor is my father, steward of Gondor, and I come seeking the master of Rivendell. He starts to draw his sword as he sees you, but kind of stops with it halfway out of the scabbard. You can see like it just kind of gleams, almost as if it glows with its own light in the stars. Not that type of. He just kind of starlight glinting, not work glow.
No, I said shit y'all are on your own for a reason, because as soon as Berendir sees who it is and acknowledges his presence, his face immediately goes wide-eyed, like in disbelief. And then he immediately sheathes his sword, lowers his shield, and snaps his heels to attention and bows.
He kind of comes forward, and Boromir sees the livery of Berendir.
And the only thing that he can really stutter and stammer out is, my liege.
He doesn't quite recognize you. He might recognize you eventually, but not quite yet. He only says, it is true. I suppose the Valar has certainly blessed me. I have journeyed here across long leagues, only to be met by one of my own. It is certainly a sign that these dreams I have had of late may not be in vain. And he kind of looks to his left where Grimbrand is there and says, although men of Gondor are not typically accompanied by bears that stand over 6 elbows tall, what company do you keep, man of Gondor? And I suppose you will ask my business, but I might do the same for you.
Berendir is kind of lost mid-prayer before he responds. He's basically kind of shaking a little bit because in his mind the head Gondorian in charge just showed up, so he's kind of muttering amongst himself. He's like, when the war has been won and a march home begins, wait, not yet revealed. Was it one? Was it what? My liege, yes. Says we have been given the task of securing the roads. Says I did not know that your presence was requested here. He says guarantees to stand up, but not, make eye contact. He says, I guarantee the safety of these two here. I stand for their character. Their marriage is strong and their hearts are sound. Says this one here, he is a newcomer, bearing message. It seems that we have quite a few messengers this evening. Says, kind of grit his teeth, and he goes, if I might inquire, sir, says, your presence here this evening is expected?
Nay, I do suppose that my presence is the farthest thing from expected. Indeed, many of my realm do not know I have left. Many would not approve of it, including perhaps my father. Flights of fancy, he would say. But both my brother and myself, Faramir, have had dreams. Dreams that should not be taken lightly.
Yeah, Berendir gulps heartily, and his face reflects like a actual fear for once you've seen him. As if he can sympathize completely with the he should not be here, but he is here comment. And he'll begin to bite his mustached lip rather fervently. He's looking basically between the two of you, Boromir and Grimbrand. He's like, we should adhere to protocol. Since we have two newcomers here, the signs are non-aggressive. We should take them to a nearest patrol with someone of proper leadership. If you would be so kind as to please follow us, we'll escort you to someone who could direct you to the proper place.
Boromir would nod. Indeed, that would be much appreciated. I have grown quite weak from lack of food on the trail, and no doubt my steed would appreciate a rest, and a grooming, and perhaps an apple.
Berendir will instinctively fall into line as if he was like a stable master, and he'll approach Boromir's horse. Then he'll forget protocol and station, and he says, by your leave, sir, I shall take the reins.
Boromir nods and allows Berendir to take the reins. And as he leads the horse away, he noticed Berendir limping a little bit. At that point, things fall into place. Berendir? Old man? Ah! I have not seen you since Eve. But I remember that limp. And I remember that salty voice of yours. Fashion seeing you here.
Berendir will internally beam like a little Japanese anime schoolgirl, all happy, but at the same time, he'll just gulp real nervously and kind of shake his head rapidly. Says, yes, it is I. I scratch the back of his head as he takes the reins to usher the horse forth. He says, if I were to know that our paths would cross once more this night, I would have brought something for you to eat or drink. But nonetheless, let's get you sorted out and settled.
Grimbrand will root around in his bag and probably not knowing who Boromir is, because I would assume the tribesfolk don't really keep up on Gondorian leadership. He kind of elbow bump Boromir and offer him a honey cake.
Ever had morning honey cakes?
Boromir looks to Grimbrand, almost offhand. Grimbrand might think that his manner is haughty a bit, but Boromir is famished from the road, and who is he to turn down a honey cake? And so he takes it from you, and in the gloom at first, he kind of, Thank you, sir. Well met.
And to you, I'm Grimbrand. Those are honey cakes. Family recipe we did on our... well, we've came up with it ourselves. Little twist on the usual. I cooked them a few nights ago.
And it takes about a moment for that honey cake to disappear. Boromir kind of wipes his beard with his forearm. And you start down the path towards Rivendell. And you have any more of those?
Oh, yes!
Root around in the bag.
Is there cooking? There is not cooking.
There is cooking, and I have it.
You have cooking?
I have specialty cooking.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay, he was going to be kind of a dick to you this game. But on the way down the path, it's just like the scene as it kind of fades away. There's like kind of Barondir on the right, kind of leading the horse, and Boromir in the middle, and Boromir's kind of catching up with the Gondorian, but then making fast friends with Grimbrand, bonding over his most excellent honey cakes. I would never thought that would come into play.
It will. It is.
How well did you cook that honey cake? Boromir was the eldest son, right? The rightful heir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
that's what Berendil recapped to Aglaron as they travel back and basically point out that Grimbrand, no idea who he is, but this one here, he is of royal blood, heir apparent to the steward of Gondor.
Aglaron internally files Boromir away as a important personage.
All right. So as you guys kind of descend the trail down into the valley, kind of the camera pans across the valley down to the home, and you see kind of Elrond's face kind of looking up at maybe some lanterns or something, kind of winding its way down towards the last homely house, and with him is Gandalf and Aragorn. And he begins to say something, and then the shutter closes. And we're going to move down into Rivendell proper here.
I was actually racking my brain trying to think, oh, I thought Boromir was dead. Oh, wait, we're actually at the part where the castle's taken place.
Oop!
Spoiler alert.
My liege, I thought you were gone.
So you guys basically kind of lead him on down towards Rivendell, and as you do so, the almost the first hints of dawn start to jut into the sky, and you're kind of bringing him down, eventually down to the house, kind of let him gain entrance. He tells you a little bit more of the story about why he has come. He's been having these dreams, saying to seek the sword that is broken, and that it dwells in Imladris. And kind of near before they get down to the last homely house, he kind of says to Berendir, Grimbrand, and Dwathrog, and says, I don't expect you to care much or know much about these affairs, but our land, Berendir, it has fallen upon dark times. Evil deeds are upon us, and dark days are ahead, I fear. If you are aware, the Dark Lord means to make war, and I fear it may come sooner rather than later. Gondor is strong, and the walls of Minas Tirith are high and noble, but even we cannot stand out for all time. Something must be done. And so in this matter, I did something uncharacteristic of myself, something more characteristic of my brother Faramir. I followed my heart, and I made this journey.
Yeah, Berendir is trying his best to present an outward appearance of empathy and not non-guilt, I guess you would call it, because he has not mentioned the fact that pretty much, if memory serves correct, the way the people, our Gondorian troops, helped at the Battle of Fornost was basically we all abandoned our station to go help.
Mm-hmm.
So Berendir's not going out of his say, yeah, I know what you mean there, buddy. Yeah, I quit my day job and traveled to Fornost.
Yep, and he's not mentioning anything of it just yet either. He might not even know much of it. He might know that there's some contingent of very young knights and squires that kind of abandoned their post. That's it, at least for now.
Yeah, but, oh, thank God for the Tengwar. Thanks for the Gandalf, because I actually was going to say I was going to try to make a persuade roll to see if I could put on a front well enough. Because this is kind of a major plot point, because by all rights, Boromir could order his execution or imprisonment right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Berendir will be extremely silent for those of you that have grown accustomed to his old stories of old and stuff like that. So he'll just nod occasionally, put on a show of feigned empathy, because he's really nervous right now. I see. Following your heart is often the right choice. Although the paths it takes you upon are usually most challenging at best.
So eventually they do get to the house after catching up, and they're greeted at the door by Elrond and Aragorn and Gandalf. The door to the main hall is open just kind of a few feet. You guys can see in there that there's a large council being held, and people are in deep discussion. Boromir kind of presents himself. And he goes inside, and there's some hushed conversation, and he emerges again and says to Berendir, it appears that there is about to be a council of some import. I trust I can meet with all of you afterwards.
Raise an eyebrow. This is myself. I can speak only for myself, my liege. If you request an audience, I shall be there. So, Must sort out this newcomer first. Then I have no idea what his plans might be. He may return home. And again, if he decides to stay the night, and it's allowed, I will do my best to extend what courtesies the people here allowed me to offer. The rest,
Indeed.
if they wish to share your company as well, they are more than welcome enough to.
All right. Does anybody have anything else before we just kind of move along?
No, who would I give my report to, though, as far as, I guess, would Barondeer count, or would I have to give it to somebody else?
I think
Yeah.
Barondeer would count. Probably Eravul is up there as well.
Yeah, in my mind, I was assuming that we're guards, but at the same time, there's a proper chain of command to bump these people along, because this is the Elven homestead. So in my mind, we would be armed escort to another Elven patrol that in turn would say, "Yeah, he's on the list. Let him go through. He can reside there or whatever."
Yeah, I think your message would have been kind of relayed to the proper channels.
Then I would probably take a bath after this.
Boromir's comments about smelling of bear got under your skin.
Aye, Dothrog would kind of finally join the party after trailing them. You do smell a lot like bear.
Well, I am wearing one. I thought it was clean.
Yeah, and maybe our noses are just too sensitive. But either way, it ain't that bad.
Yeah, so many Southmen are sensitive folk. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I guess. Where are the places to bathe here?
So they all have kind of guest houses down in the valley and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
guest houses.
Yeah.
Barondeer will basically, when you make the comment about bear, and he's like, "Bear, fish, it's all the same. You're ripe enough. Nothing a little hard work and some fresh flowing water can't cure." He'll look at all the surrounding water. Best you make no public displays underneath a waterfall, I'd say. They have odd things here called bathhouses. Giant wooden tubs full of water.
Ooh, this I must see. We do not have this in the tribes.
New experience for you then. Kind of smell himself. Perhaps we should meet at one later.
So be it.
Scratches his chin.
Share a plate of food, some drink, and a nice hot soak.
Aye. I would do a bit of cooking. Bring some traditional Bjorning recipes to the table.
Interesting notion. Barondeer will also ultimately go over towards Duathrog and place a hand on your shoulder. He says, "You did a fine job, lad."
Yes, well, maybe not so fine, but good enough. And then I didn't see anybody else trailing us, so I figured both of them came alone.
You had alerted us to... Go ahead.
Aglaron elbows Duathrog. Quiet enough we may make an elf of you. Kind of chuckles at his own joke.
Well, I shall die long before that, I'm sure.
Nevertheless, you did well, soldier. Alerted us of his presence and stuck to the shadows. Exactly what any good soldier would do.
Aye, yes. Well, I figured better not to be a notice. That way he'd had friends. They would move not too long after you did.
Baron will draw himself a little bit closer to you with his hand, hand still on your shoulder. Take a couple sniffs, and he's, interesting. Just leave it at that as he walks off.
Not the fan of pine, are we?
Well, you made a comment, best not to draw notice to yourself. Do we still have a patrol, or are we being relieved at dusk sunup, or?
Yeah, it's kind of sun up.
That's the case, I guess we can mill about, and make sure our shifts are taken over, and then possibly meet up with Grimbrand or something.
Yeah, kind of get some sleep.
Not that I'm really saying that rush to the bathhouse together.
Everybody except Aglaron has to sleep.
Yes, time for some snoozing.
Definitely catch a shift on the rack.
Yeah, Deathward figured he'd sleep first and eat after.
Yeah, Barrender probably won't sleep very much. He's probably going to be very fidgety and restless when he lays down.
Rembrandt will collapse anywhere and take a nice, decent nap after a night of travel.
Yeah, Grimbrand has been on the road for a very long time. Traveling by foot from Fornos can take quite a bit. So he's probably going to, he's grimy. He gets his bath, goes ahead and he goes and samples some of this food they have here in Rivendell. And he's a good cook, but oh man, this stuff is good they have here. It's the best food he's had in a long, long time, especially after sleeping outside for many weeks in a row. So that day kind of passes. You don't see any trace of Boromir. You don't see any trace of Elrond or many of the elves at all. It's a very quiet afternoon, except by any chance you kind of pass by the main hall. If you pass by the main hall, you might hear voices raised in argument as there's disagreements about something that seems very, very important. At one point even, it seems like a shadow even passes over Imbladris and the whole place darkens. And you hear a voice kind of raise up like thunder. But the mid-morning passes into afternoon, into early evening. And at that point, you guys can tell me what you guys are up to.
Barrender will probably be the last to stir, having spent a restless evening. Begrudgingly wake, wash off. Assuming that Boromir is going to show up, he'll try to make himself look presentable. Peck at whatever food he can find. Try to distract himself. I guess he'll go and visit the blacksmiths. Perhaps make sure that the adjustments to his shield, his recent adjustments to his great shield, finely tuned and stuffed. He looks like he's had it reinforced. The edging of it, the rim of it, leather strapping. It's got a couple additional metal plates across the banding on the front. Probably toil with that, and whenever he runs into y'all, you just notice he's like nervous. It's almost got like that mixture of first date nervousness mixed with I got a secret type of nervousness, but he doesn't ever let on to anything. He'll just real polite and cordial. seems to be the most friendly with Aglaron, but he'll definitely try to make Durthrog feel welcome, and if he ultimately passes Grimbrand, he'll even raise a hand, knowing now that he's not the enemy. Crack a wry smile, and I pray you slept comfortably enough.
Aye. It was a nice long nap and a good bath at the bathhouse. Now I'm just trying to find some good herbs and spices for my meals.
I'm sure the best ones are out in the wilds, but I don't go around the hills here very much. Easy to get lost. Quite perilous to go and pick them if you don't know the right spots. Perhaps we could go and ask one of the cooks.
Haha, they seem glad to share their secrets with me. I perhaps will go around if I have the time, though I expect I might be leaving soon.
Berendir will nod, but he'll rub his chin wistfully, and the stables. Try the stables there. I'm sure they know much about the surrounding area. They might lend a more helpful to these reclusive cooks you speak of.
I'll have to investigate it. Perhaps they will.
And at some point, you guys kind of, as you're talking, you see Aglaron walking up from the Loudwater. He has with him, as you speak of cooking, just a kind of a creel full of fish.
Agron smiles and holds up the fish. Aye, while you've been sleeping, I've been fishing, and the fishing's good.
Ooh. Oh, the things I could do with this.
I'm looking at the fish. And
This will be a good meal to share.
Well, would you join us? And he looks to Berendir, Durthrog.
Yes, that would be splendid.
Berendir will try his best not to lick his lips, but he's like, you already know my answer, friend.
As they head off to find a place to cook their meal, out of the main hall walks Boromir in the company of Erebul, son of Arafel. And a lot of the rangers that have been called back to Rivendell have been milling around there, and one of them is Dwathrog. And Erebul calls out to Dwathrog. Dwathrog! Good to see you.
Aye, good to see you as well.
I hear you were on patrol with our friends Berendir and Aglaron when this straggler walked in. He kind of looks to Boromir.
Yeah, Red. Spotted him coming, wasn't sure if he was friend or foe. Glad to see that Berendir knew who he was.
Boromir kind of says, well, I would like a word with them. Some things have come to my attention that I were not quite aware of. Erebul updated me about the fate of Fornost and how the fortress was eventually taken. I would like a word with Berendir about this. Do you know where he may be?
Well, last I heard about the go to eat some fish. So I'm sure you could find him. I could take you to him if you would like.
I would like that very much. Then Erebul kind of says to Dwathrog. He says, will you go with Boromir, son of Denethor? Assist him in any way you can. He is a good man, a stout of heart. It seems that we have a long journey ahead of, or he has a long journey ahead of him.
As you say, the system in any way possible.
Eravul kind of disappears inside. Boromir says, "Lead the way, Dwarthrog."
Yes, follow me. I'm sure he'll be happy to see you again.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Well, then we shall find out. And with that, he'll take him to where he knew they would be gathering to eat.
So what does this meal look like before Boromir and Dwarthrog kind of walk into your meal of fish and honey cakes or whatever you're thinking?
Grimbrand would have been hard at work with whatever tools that he would have for cooking. I'm assuming it's just simple, maybe... Well, it's Rivendell, so I'm not really sure how they'd have things set. Probably as a spit or something like that. He'd probably go with familiarity if there was a place to set a spit and just do a quick fire. And then basically just going through, forming the honey cakes, handling everything that he had. Probably using honey cakes that he had left as opposed to making new ones. Very hard process to create the honey cakes. Much baking involved.
Very difficult.
But likely the
Very
fish.
high TN.
Exactly. Likely the fish would be pretty simple for him. Just going through, getting them all clean, deboned, and then get everything set for the fish. Spicing them up, cooking them to perfection, removing skin, and then there you go.
Meanwhile, Aglaron would have slipped off, found, in air quotes, a bottle or two of wine to pair with the fish.
Yeah, Berendir will probably be giving advice, seeing the wine, talking about, if you baste the fish with a good spiced wine, while brushing the sides of it with rosemary or sage, it helps bring out the flavor. Oh, so delectable.
You can use wine to help with cooking?
Yes, by all means you can. You could cook the fish in the wine, braise it even.
Ooh, let us try it.
Probably pouring wine into a pan full of fish by the time we shows up. That's it. Now, brush the sides of the fish with the soap.
Darthmar would come in and immediately eye the cooking going on. Well, sir. There's your man right there. Should I announce you?
I suppose you should. I don't want to let old Berendir enjoy himself too much. I have some stern news for him. I think he might need a talking to. Lead the way, Dwarthrog.
And Darthmar will walk in. Berendir, I brought someone to see you.
He'll turn attentively to the noise behind him, see you, and have the who is it look. Then I'm assuming as Boromir walks in, his mood suddenly becomes hard and rigid.
Oh, don't allow me to interrupt your feast. It seems at least some of us got some sleep, while other of us spent the entire day in a very serious and grave meeting. I learned some things, Berendir. Some things that made my heart heavy, but go ahead. Enjoy your fish.
Berendir promptly retort, "There's no interruption at all, my liege. No, by all means, enter. If you wish to have words, I am here. My ears are open."
And the heart of man is always open to deceit. Can you roll me a corruption check, Berendir, for not quite lying, but not telling Boromir the whole truth. See how guilty you feel about this? So this is kind of a teaching point. We're going to make an example out of Barondir. So,
Corruption is
Yep.
valor.
it's wisdom.
Oh,
Yep. Just do a TN 16. If you fail, you'll just get a point of shadow. But you have none, so it's not going to hurt you.
wisdom is, yeah, for roleplay purposes, yeah, you would
Yep.
definitely feel guilt. Yeah.
So total shadow would be 1. Not awful, but little pang of guilt there. And Boromir kind of looks into Barondir's eyes. He spent many years at his father's site in court, in the court of Denether, and he can tell that Barondir may be a little shifty at this point. He says, "There were much discussed at this council, much of which I am not at the liberty, though I wish I could. But I also learned some other things, Barondir, about Fornost. Is there anything you would like to share?"
Berendil. First of all, what was Chris's character's name?
Doing here.
Doing here?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Because I had to pull his old token out when I made that summary video.
Yeah, Berendil will basically become real sallow in the face. Look kind of like that, as if remembering a dead loved one. Not that he loved doing here, but basically just the whole, yeah, I know I'm in trouble. And he says, my heavy heart tells me you know what happened.
Indeed. Erebol, son of Arafel, was in this council. I learned the tale of Fornost in its entirety.
Instead of trying to explain himself, Berendil simply looked to the ground. It's like, this is what I did for the good of all. He says, I accept your punishment fully.
What's the other folks doing as Boromir gets a dressing down? What are they looking like?
Dothrog kind of stepped aside a little bit, was still standing there, not wanting, knowing that he's supposed to assist Boromir with whatever he needs.
Grimbrand will look kind of confused, not understanding the politics of the situation, likely. Just kind of looking back between the two men who seem to be having some strange sort of moment here. One that's not altogether comfortable.
Aglaron, who knows a bit more of the politics, though not fully, looks uncomfortable and displeased, and then tries to busy himself with the fish and such.
Just continues to cook.
Well, he figures anything that he has to add is not going to help his friend, and so he just
He
tries
does. All I can picture is that awkward spoonful of wine that he's tipping over the fish when no one's looking.
Yeah, there's just the silence as as the wine starts to evaporate. Boromir kind of continues. Oh, I very well understand that these young men's hearts were noble, as they abandoned their post in Gondor, leaving the walls undefended, leaving women and children undefended. What if the Dark Lord's forces should have come early? It was only our good fortune that this has not yet happened, Barondir. What would you say? What should be a just punishment for aiding and abetting those who abandon their post?
Berendir's face, even though he looks, he's literally looks like he's willing to accept the worst possible outcome. But when Boromir mentions the people abandoning their post and stuff like that, that's when human nature will actually kick in, and he will actually also too, given the history we pre-discussed between Boromir and Berendir, because I'm roughly 6-7 years his senior, if I remember right.
Probably
Yeah.
maybe even more.
Berendir will overstep his station a bit by retorting, and it's almost like the elders acting childish kind of ordeal, because he's kind of look distraught at the whole situation, and eventually gets the best of him, and he says, "Punish me as you will, my liege," but he says, we were operating under the command of Lord Duanir. Says, upon hearing his request, I could not send those young men into battle without proper guide. I weighed my options, hedged my bets, and proceeded forward in what I thought would be the best for the free peoples.
All right, give me either if you want to make it more inspiring, you can use inspire, otherwise courtesy.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into a full Berendir spiel of, like that, but yeah, he's basically trying to set it out to where the overall gist of what he's saying is this man came in, was going to take these people regardless, so I decided for the best of everyone that I should accompany them. I should not only still be their drill sergeant, I shall try to keep these men alive under the situation. And that's kind of his motivation, in addition to his heart also being there as the old wounded soldier, like, yeah, I want to go for one last battle.
I'll let you use inspire, whatever.
Yeah, but basically try to target number.
Just do 14. And so Boromir kind of listened to you, and as you go on and start to get all hot and bothered, he kind of raises his right hand. There, Boromir. I know that you've always been a fiery one. It can work both ways, though. Don't get ahead of yourself. Inspiring your troops is one thing, but convincing me is another. And don't think I'll take it easy on you because of that limp. Well, I agree with you that your heart was in the right place, and so that youthful heart of those brave knights was in the right place as well. Something must be done. I dare say the hearts of the Gondorian people would be lifted if they saw their youth returning across the plains to the north of our great city. What say you? This bear man here says the construction of Fornost is complete. Why don't you go back to our men and bring them home? There is a war to fight.
Look of total disbelief, and it's more like a exuberant, exalted, like almost borderline giddy look of disbelief. It's a mixture of the two. As he says, return to Gondor? Almost as if he's trying his best not to get up to their highest.
Would you rather be exiled? In fact, this is the opposite of exile. Get thee home, Berendir, and bring those welts with you.
And all that emotion will be cast aside as Berendir gives out one of his most wholehearted and sincerest of heel clicks and salutes and head nods. As you wish, my liege. At once.
I don't suppose someone as senile as yourself could go along. If this bear man here means to return, I suggest you take him with you. And you will need someone with keen eyes and fleet feet. This elf should do, if he should go. It seems you have some friendship. And Erebul has asked that Dwathrog aid in whichever way I would like. Dwathrog, you know the ways of this wilderness. Would you aid Berendir in returning to Fornost and retrieving our long-lost youth?
Aye, not only because it'd be commanded, but I feel like it'd be quite the adventure, and Berendir is my friend. I'd aid him in any way.
Very well. You will need strength on your journey. I will leave you to your meal of fish. And if this man here, this Bjorning, has any more hunters, well, I'll take those as payment.
Ooh, well,
They kind of root around to the bag and
I don't have many more, but you can certainly have them.
And off screen in a couple days, he'll perhaps share one of these honey cakes with one Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee as they overlook the loud water as they eat these honey cakes on the bridge of Rivendell. Baron Boromir then exits. Before he leaves, I says, I suggest you leave as soon as possible. It's a long journey to Fornost, although these days I suppose the roads are much safer than they used to be, thanks to the likes of you, Berendir.
Berendir's real dismissive of the praise, even though, like I said, internally he's happy. He just kind of shakes his head. He said, I did what I could.
All right. I'll let you RP it out, and we're going to, I suppose, get ready to go on our first journey.
Yeah, Berendir basically, in his mindset, his liege came in and orders to people that aren't his people. So he'll be like real out of his way to bridge the gap between the lack of what he perceived as improper communication. It's basically along the lines of, it seems that my liege is tasked a mission of great importance. Says, I cannot speak for you, and I still have to advise the council to make sure that our departure would even be acceptable. Says, I cannot speak for you, Aglaron. Says, but if you were to accompany me, I would be more than honored. As for you, Duathrog, though we have only had a few short weeks together, someone with ways of the world and knowing shortcuts upon the road would be most helpful and advantageous. And you there, Bjorning, he'll look up at you and just kind of grin. He says, everything I see about you is nothing but an advantage. It would not turn away fellowship, nor protection.
Aglaron kind of elbows Berendir. Well, someone has to help you find your way back to Gondor, old man.
That's when Berendir's countenance will break and he'll actually like open with like a big shit-eating grin pretty much for the most part, and he'll quickly try to stifle. He's like, return to Gondor. I still can't believe it. Looks like he'll want to go on and on more, like spill more stories about it, but he like tries to live in the here and now about it. Just like, no, let's focus on the task at hand.
Grimbrand will be doing more stuff with the fish and fix them.
I imagine I can go. The tribe has given me leave to assist in any way I see fit. I see no reason why a bunch of young men who have been away from home for a long time should not return. I have no idea who that man was, but I'll go with you.
Baron will try to bridge the gap of friendship between two peoples and explain about who Boromir is. Boromir is the eldest son of a great ruler of the lands where I come from. What you would call chieftain, or even, what is the word, Jarl, perhaps?
Chieftain, Jarl, depends on which tribe you're talking to. So he is chief of your tribe?
He is heir apparent, the son of the chieftain. Well, actually, the current ruler.
Oh, so he is son of the chief.
More, I would guess you would relate him to general, perhaps?
War chief then.
Yeah, that's the term, war chief. War chief with sacred blood.
Oh, so he is kind of important then. I'll remember next time to make sure I give proper deference when I see him.
What of you? You're stout enough. A runner, you say?
Grimbrand the Runner is my official title in the tribe. I am a messenger, travel from tribe to tribe, keep the words together. I fight sometimes, but mainly messenger. It takes hardy constitution to travel these roads alone. Can't spare many men to go do it, so I go do it.
To travel so far in such lands, 'tis truly a noble task you've been given. Give you a healthy pat on the side of the shoulder, arm, bicep, whatever. You seem more than sound enough and capable.
I like to think so. Haven't been eaten yet, so I must be doing something right. Ha 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 ha!
Barrender will smile, a wry smile.
Aglaron thinks back to spiders and various other things that have tried to eat him. Sort of nods. Must be doing something right.
What of you, do a Throg?
Aye, it'd be an honor. Yes, as you say, we had only had a few short weeks. I seem you to be an honorable man. No qualms with me accompanying you to retrieve the men of Gondor.
Do seem the sort to be most at home when on the road.
Aye, yes, it would be nice to get away from some of this hustle and bustle. It is a little too much, but I figured I'd be able to hide that disdain a little more, but I guess not. However, it'd be an honor to accompany you three and see where the road take us.
You three know this, that if we are to escort what remains of my men back to Gondor, there's a tavern I know in my hometown of Pelagrir. This be much rejoicing. The mead shall flow like rain, and the food shall fill your bellies like a dwarven coalsmith.
Well,
All right, when are you guys going to take off? It's October 25th now. It's all good road on the way to Fornost.
Probably same day, unless there's any objections for someone that had anything else to do. So Grimbrand would want to do same day, leave early enough in the day, probably.
Yeah, Berendir will make sure all the political red tape's secure, but yeah, he's eager to get on the road. Bad knee and all.
So evening of the 25th or early morning of the 26th. We'll say early morning the 26th.
Sounds good.
Yeah, before first light, that's fine.
Alright, let you RP a little bit. So you guys kind of take off out of Rivendell and head into the, you descend through the valley and head out into the road. Overhead there's an overcast sky and the temperature is crisp. It's great traveling weather. You cross the Loudwater and enter the wilderness and hear the sounds of birds and beasts and that sort of thing as you strike the Great East Road and begin to travel west. All right. All right, so what's route? Just going to follow along the road, I'm guessing at this point.
Probably whatever's easiest, probably. Unless something comes up where we need to change our
I
decision.
don't think we have any reason for subterfuge. So.
Now, riding or walking? You would be able to have access to horses.
I walk.
Yeah.
I thought you ran.
Sometimes I run too.
All depends on what you're trying to eat.
Perhaps swim. Though I cannot fly as much as I've tried.
Agron looks at the size of Grimbrand and sort of chuckles. Says, I don't imagine that goes well.
Not
Ideally, the way I would be Aglaron and Duathrog would probably ride first ahead, and then Berendir would probably puncture Grimbrand's ears with stories of Gondor. Like in that happy medium, trying to keep its pace going along.
All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 130 miles to the last bridge. 130 divided by 2. Let's call it 65. You're going to travel on the road, so you get a 0.5 bonus if you're on the road. So let me see, do some math here. I'm pretty sure you're going to end up, if you're on foot, I think you're going to have to make one travel check at least to get to the last bridge. So the way this works, Sim, is at the onset of a journey. A journey is basically from your point of origin to your destination. Camping out and that sort of thing doesn't count as a rest. And so the longer it takes you on your trip, depending on what sort of seasons, you have to make some checks that's going to affect your travel fatigue, right?
Okay.
So I did some of the math ahead of time. So if you're going to be on foot, you're going to have to make one travel check. Now, before you guys start out on this journey, remember how it works. Everybody makes a lore check at 14, and this will tell me how many bonus dice you get for the entire journey. So everybody make a lore check at DC 14. Berendir gets 2 bonus. I'm just going to make a note of this. This looks like travel. 2. Oh, you marked it yourself. That's fine. Dwathrog misses. Aglaron, you get 1 bonus die.
I missed.
Grim gets none.
Yeah, I missed.
Oh, it's based on lore. It's not travel.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. All right. And so the way that works, Sim, is when you make these travel checks, you can use that bonus die anytime you would like. So basically, it adds an extra d6 to your die. And the way that would work is you just kind of highlight your token, and it says like roll extra dice, and you can just pick like 1, and it'll roll. It'll just roll a d6. And you add that onto whatever your initial roll was.
All right,
Does that
awesome.
make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody can make their first travel check at TN 14. Not needed. Dwathrog passes.
What was the target number?
14.
Ooh, I feel spry.
Everybody. Oh.
I will spend a hope to activate over dangerous leagues. Success on a fatigue test, I can spend a hope point to automatically pass
Your second
the
check.
following fatigue test for the same journey.
Sweet. Just remember that. It'll be a long way to Fornost.
My bonus dice, can I give them to other players?
I think I played that wrong last time. I don't think you can for travel. I would have to look it up again. But I think that only happens like for certain checks. But I don't think you can do that for travel.
Okay, good. Was it combat that you can lend battle
Well,
die, or was it an ability that
stealth.
somebody had?
Like when you know how like in order to ambush somebody, every single person has to pass a stealth check.
Yeah.
In that sense, you can pass it along the die, which makes sense because some people are going to be so bad.
Okay. Reason I asked, I figure if I was given stories or whatever, try to motivate somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Rembrandt's probably the closest. So. No biggie either way.
So you head off on your journey and camp your first night. No big deal. On the second night, though, like as you start to get, it's closer and closer to sundown, you start to hear some screaming kind of way off the path in the woods. And every once in a while you can see what looks like a flickering flame.
What do you think that is?
Hopefully some campus. I think we should investigate though.
I don't have very much good music set up these days with the system, do I?
It might delay our travel. Should we?
Does the screaming sound like people, animals?
It's very deep, deep screaming, like help me! And like you see some flickering flames, and every once in a while you hear a booming voice. It's dark. It's not like this picture. It's starting to get dark, and you're no, put me down.
Yeah, if it Doesn't sound like a Nazgul or a fell beast. If it actually sounds like someone in distress, yeah, Baron Darrell probably. Seems someone may need our assistance.
Yes. I feel compelled to go help him. Would you like me to look ahead?
See if you can
Aglaron
pin.
look
Yeah.
through the, try and get a idea of where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's exactly what Baron ought to suggest. But see if you can pinpoint the source.
I don't have anything good that fits this.
Baron Darrell looked down the
Aglaron
grim.
nods to Duathrog and kind of points, you go that way, and I'll go around this way.
Aye. Let's see what we shall see.
Baron Darrell kick his horse and talk down to Grimbrand. So now might be the time to run.
And run I shall.
Start hauling.
All right, so summarize what you're doing again. I'm trying to mess around with music, trying to find something, but
I think the Aglaron and Durathrog are trying to scout ahead, pinpoint the sounds, and we would be coming up from behind them.
cool.
And the scouts are sort of doing a pincer maneuver, trying to come at whatever it is from two directions.
Gotcha. So as you get closer and closer into the woods, you see just like there's a campfire there, and what you see is, let me pull them out here. Alright. Where's my boy? Here he is. So as you get closer and closer, you see this campfire, and you see this giant troll over a campfire, and he has this this dwarf in his right hand, and all around him are like these goblins, kind of like, "Go ahead, Jack, pop the head. I want to taste his juices." And Jack's like, "No, no, no. We'll wait until the deepest night. We've already feasted on his friends. I think we'll savor this one." You kind of hear as you get closer and closer, you hear the dwarf say, like, "Put me down, you old troll. I swear, you let me live, I'll run away. I won't tell nary a soul you came this close to the path." "Oh, that's too late. We're gonna cook you into something tasty." And they don't see you yet, but how close do you want to get?
Well, before we get too close, we'd want to signal to Barondeer and Grimbrand. Hey, over here. Trouble. Keep low and quiet.
Aye. I think we should attack from different angles. They won't know what way we're coming from. And then have the charge lit in after they get confused.
Sounds good to me.
I want the troll. I don't like trolls. A troll ate my grandfather.
Alright, you could have whatever one's still standing.
I'll take the troll.
So with Dothrog is gonna kind of fade away from the, a little more away from the group to get a good pincer maneuver on him, hoping that the attacks from both sides will kind of confuse him a little bit.
Aglaron will spread out a little bit the other direction.
All right, as you do this, the goblins just kind of mill around the camp. Every once in a while, they yell at the troll, come on, why don't you maybe just a toe? I would like to eat just a toe. After all, a dwarf's toes are quite meaty. Yeah, or maybe just a finger. I'd like the finger to suck on, maybe like a little appetizer, yeah? Be quiet before I squish the whole lot of you. Like I said, this one needs to marinate all night. So, Aglaron and Dwarthrog, I'm gonna have you make stealth checks at least.
Very good.
Alright.
In order to get a surprise attack, you need to both be successful. And you guys would make a round, and they would make a round, and I'll join in. Boom. Boom. Alright, so you guys are going to get the drop on them. And I would like everybody to make a battle check to see how many bonus die you get for this battle.
Alright, so what's a combat advantage bonus die? Is that during
Yep.
an attack?
Combat advantage bonus die is what so for example, Ghost actually misses, Aglaron missed. Barondir will get 2 bonus die.
Nice.
Okay.
And so you roll battle.
And
You get none. So the way this works is Barondir, at any point during the battle, he'll be able to use one of those extra d6s until he runs out of them.
Alright, see, I got that. When fighting and enrolled in this, I received 1 free combat advantage bonus die. That's what I was asking. So that would be just the one roll with it, right?
Yep, so you get a free one because of your whatever.
Yeah,
Virtue.
my virtue. Ways
Oh,
of the
sweet.
Wild.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so see where it says bonus die? It says 5 bonus dice, just click 1. And I'll put a marker. That'll put a marker on your token.
Awesome.
Alright, so kick it off. Tell me what's going to happen.
So Dothrog waiting. He when he moves off away and knocks an arrow and draws it back, and then trying to keep an eye on the ground to see if he wait for the opportunity to launch arrows.
Likewise with Aglaron, arrow at the ready. Sort of waiting for the opportunity for the coordinated volley.
Alright, so put yourself in a rearward stance, so then let it fly. Dwarthrog misses.
Wow, that was horrible.
He's back, boys.
Oh my god,
Amazing.
you're quite
no.
consistent there, Aglaron.
As you guys launch your attack, both these arrows go wide. Thump, 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 they float into trees, and you see somebody that was scouting burst through the trees. He goes, "Hey, what was that?" So an extra kind of comes out of the woods. "Hey!" And they look up and they see both Aglaron and Dwathrog. They both rolled eyes and say, "We're being attacked!" And they start to rush at you guys. Jack the Baker goes, "Oi, little droll, what you do? Call your friends?" And he just smashes the dwarf against the tree. The dwarf falls unconscious at this point. And he goes, "Get 'em, boys. Looks like we're going to have more than appetizers tonight." Jack the Baker picks up some giant hammer that's been resting next to the fire. And since you guys both rolled eyes, you don't get another volley. Except for Aglaron. He gets the extra volley because you have a virtue, right?
The woodland bow.
Yep, you have a talent, so you get another shot, so you can miss again.
Very good.
Don't say that.
He's back!
Roll that 666
Well,
with that
good-
Gandalf.
a good plan only lasts until first contact. Then it goes away.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
How is that even possible?
It's the spider just all over again.
Another one of them shows up.
I think Bo hacked his friggin' macro.
Another one bursts out the wrist. This troll and all these goblins just like starting to run at you guys now. There's no getting away as they start to swarm you.
Roll
Okay.
again, Aglaron.
No, don't roll again.
I'm guessing that Aglaron's going to stay in rearward,
Not until your
Yeah.
turn.
and the rest of you guys tell me what you're doing.
Dothrog is seeing that the arrows did not work. The plan has gone to shit. Is immediately gonna place the bow and grab his sword out, and not use a shield.
Forward.
Yes.
Put Aglar on the back there. And Barondir.
Oh, we're actually there now?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll go open, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with Dothrog.
All right, and there's more of them than you. So the troll is going to go towards Grimbrand. One goblin will go at Barondir. Another one at Dothrog, and then another goblin here. So Barondir and Dothrog both get 2, and Grimbrand gets the troll and the goblin on him. And
Right.
you guys are defending, so you get to go first. Remember your bonus die. Remember your special actions. And it proceeds from most forward to rearward. So, Grimbrand, you're up.
Grimbrand will come sprinting from the woods with his great spear in his hands, and seeing the troll approach. The troll is the one he wants, but he doesn't want to have to worry about the goblin, so he sees the goblin coming from the side. He's going to try to get him with a quick strike from his spear, remove him from his sight. So... Oh my goodness.
Oh my god!
We're starting off right, everyone.
This is how adventures start.
Okay. Who's next?
That'd be Dothrog, I guess. So how exactly do you roll the bonus die if I wanted to roll it?
So he does a cold shot next time, I think.
He does.
If you want to roll the bonus die, just roll your regular attack. Then see where it says roll extra dice at the top.
Alright.
I'll let you roll another d6.
Roger that.
Use it or lose it, baby.
Well, he's not going to use it yet, but he's going to...
Okay.
Seeing the goblins approaching and he has a sword out, he's going to step forward, but not charge to engage. He's going to open his stance a little bit. And as they get close, he's going to take a swing to the
He's rolled 4 eyes in a row.
one closest to the right. Yes, I don't want to roll another one. I'm not going to roll another one.
Yes.
And that's two-handed.
Two-handed. Okay. That kills him. So does that look like as he dies?
As he opens up and sees the goblin coming, he just uses the goblin's own weight for its demise and smiles as he sees it coming, knowing it's not going to stop, and swings and meets it in mid-belly. And he looks over at the other one, lets out a smile. Today is not your day, friend.
Ah, give me your fingers. Come on here. Starts to try to grab you and biting at your neck. And Barondeer's up next.
Well, my Inspire only increases stuff that you've suffered this round, and nobody's suffered anything yet, so... Yeah, Barondeer will to engage one of the goblins with his sword and shield. Once again, being typical Barondeer, he'll lead off with the Lords of Gondor. I call this sword by my side. I seek a life of honor, free from all false pride. I will crack the whip of righteousness with a bold and mighty hail. Cover me with death if I should ever fail. Glory, majesty, unity, hail, hail, hail. Is it asking me to click the target twice?
Magical 666.
Oh my god. Just destroyed him.
God, that's an edge roll and
Yeah,
This is death.
yeah.
decapitation.
Fatality.
Yeah.
Barondeer wins.
Aglaron.
Alright. Seeing that Grimbrand still
But I
has
will-
two.
If I may interrupt for 1 second. Now, since it's nighttime, you actually get even another mastery die on your bow check. Because you have, I think it's like Elf of Mirkwood.
Right.
Yeah, Elf of Mirkwood inside
Folk of the
forest.
Dusk.
Yeah, or when Elf of Mirkwood inside forest or under earth, or it's night, attribute bonuses are based on favored rating, then add 1 mastery die to bow.
Alright, and how do I do that here?
Just after you roll, you just roll extra dice
Oh, okay.
if you need it.
Grimbrand seemed to really want the troll, and he still has 2 on him, so Aglaron will try and take out the goblin that's on Grimbrand there. Unbelievable.
Oh my
This
god.
thing working?
Yeah, I would roll that like
Yeah,
5
I'm
No, it's working.
Oh,
it works.
And you
See,
burned the
now
condom.
You burned it. Now you burned it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Who did you piss off in a former life?
Apparently so
It's
on.
just this game. I'm like Tolkien's mad at me or something. I don't
You
know.
must have been
This
like
is amazing.
Do you know anybody that has chronic recurring pink eye or something that doesn't really like you?
Oh, man.
This is legendarily bad.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
The goblin that keeps getting arrows shot at him just knocks the arrow away with his bent sword. The Aglaron fires at him and then slashes with that bent sword at Grimbrand. Come here, bear man. I'm gonna roast you on the spit. And this is a called shot. It has to be a great success in order to do anything.
No.
Which is automatic.
Away with thee, little green man.
So he misses, but then As the king dodges away from that, Jack the Baker brings his big hammer up for a big overhand chop towards Grimbrand.
Ever see two Gandalfs on a roll? Man.
Oh! 9. 8 damage. Whoa! So it comes down over your shoulder and just cracks you. Alright. Moving along. The one next to Dwathrog tries to grab him and jam his spear into his throat. And misses. Same thing towards Berendir, tries to grab him even as his comrade is struck down and stab his spear into his hamstring. And, ooh, that hits. And that's not an edge. Yes, it is an edge.
That's an edge and a great success.
Yep. So damage will be 7. And you have to make a protection against
Damage
12.
is 7.
Yep. Yep.
His Shield of the Citadel does not kick in, but his Weapon of Great Lineage should kick in. Because I'm assuming that's an orc.
It is an orc.
So it takes 4 damage and counterattack.
Sweet.
And I take 7.
Mm-hmm. So he gets kind of knocked back as your weapon just like bloodies his jaw. Black blood starts to spill out from between his teeth. And then you have to make a protection as well. Against 12.
Protection.
No factor. Although you're wounded, his spear doesn't quite slip through your armor.
Reinforced shield saves my ass.
We're back to the bear man.
Yeah, Grimbrand, after getting hit by that hammer, is recognizing a greater threat.
You won't frighten me with your big hammer and your stupid face. I'm going to cut you down.
And let's try this with the troll instead. Oh man, well, I'm right there with you, Ag.
Oh my god.
What the fuck, man?
God, we are cursed.
Oh, he's got called shot next time though. Which could be good and bad, I suppose.
All I need to do is not roll an eye and I hit him. It's crazy.
Dwathrog.
Alright, let me go. So as the goblin tries to thrust the spear in, Dothrog is gonna grab it and pull the goblin closer and just enter his sword into the goblin's neck in return of the favor. Told you today's not your day.
Berendir.
Mechanically he will do an attack and then use his ability to do the free inspire. I want to spend one of my battle dice on the inspire attempt. Mechanically, as he basically decapitates the one goblin, gets skewered, he winces with pain, but tries to remain stalwart. Just lets out a brief and feral. He's like, only one of us will win or return to fight again. He'll like pound his shield with his sword. And he's like, I am the keeper of the laws, decided by the gods. Your time ends now. Oh my God. I get a reroll.
He did.
My new ability, I get a reroll. Die, so.
Get that second eye out of the way.
So that's a 3.
14.
No, it's a
Right.
Yeah, target numbers are 13. Or
So
it's
that's a, yeah,
8, 11.
Great
Yeah, it's
success.
I wrote, yeah. Great success.
That kills him.
And then I get to do my Inspire with an extra die. I was rereading the books too. I don't think it's a target number 10 because it says by default they're 14.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Automatic great success.
Great success.
I think you should get like 4 back. Is that right? I have to look it up again.
I think it's on the cheat sheets. Yeah, great success should be. It's under Inspire. Great success is 3 endurance points for everybody. So everybody gets 3 endurance points back.
I feel like it was more than that.
No, it's 3. It's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Ordinary, great. Extraordinary must be like 5 or something. Extraordinary success must be higher. I thought it was like
Yeah, extraordinary 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2, 3, 4.
So everybody gets 3 back?
Yeah.
I guess
Alright,
the only
did
person that's been hit is Grimbrand.
Yeah, I already did it. That was at 21.
Come
to
on,
24.
Aglaron.
I
Now's
got
your
it.
time to
Don't
shine.
hype him up. Don't hype him. Just let him work through it on his own.
More help.
Hey!
Finally,
Edge!
how's it look as you regain your sight?
Aglaron finally wakes up. Oh, goblins! Shoots that one in the eye.
They're shorter than
Realizing he's all by himself, Jack the Baker falls into a rage. He's like, "You come here!" and reaches for Grimbrand's neck, and he just tries to lift him up and take a giant bite out of him.
Got it.
Ouch.
Great success. That's 12. 12 damage. And I think you have to make a protection check since it was a cold shot.
Nothing but these pecs.
It's a beat 14.
No.
Ooh.
What's your body?
Favorite or regular?
You're regular.
7.
You can make it if you use a hope.
I will hope it.
Use a hope. Now you're not wounded. You pass.
Yeah, that's
See-
some
Yeah.
intestinal fortitude against the pain. Ah.
So Grimbrand gets bit. Since it's rotating back to me, I think at this point.
Yeah.
Grimbrand gets bit. Ah! Just fights his way out of the grass. Pokes him, stabs him a bit.
You won't scare me. That doesn't frighten me, you ugly beast.
And let's try again, shall we?
15. It's regular success. 9.
That's right.
So you jab your
When he
spear
bit you,
into him.
Grim,
He just grabs the tip, though, as it goes in. He just rips it out and shoves it right back in your face. He's like, ha, ha, ha. Get away. Run now, bear man. Your toothpick doesn't scare me. Dwarthrog.
All right. Well, I'm guessing Darthrog is going to move in the aid Grimbrand.
Yeah, you can move.
Yeah. I'm going to change it to forward. I'm going to move in and
Okay.
And I guess I'll use my bonus dice this time around as well.
There you go.
Whew.
There you go.
Well, great success.
That's a great success. That's going to be, you're two-handed, right?
Yep.
So 16. 16. You didn't get edge though. That's a good hit. So what does that look like?
So as he moves in, Jack the baker's holding Grimbrand, and Grimbrand sticks him, and he just pulls it out like a toothpick. Ah, this guy's a mighty big fella, and he says under his breath as he rushes in, and he attacks him from the side angle, and
So he just kind of turns his attention to you. Whoa! What's this? Something else for my menu? I'm Jack the Baker, and I think I'm going to make a jelly out of you. All right, Barondeer.
Yeah, Eriador, he's maintaining an open stance, of course, but having dispatched the two goblins, he'll make his way towards the troll and do his typical attack and inspiration. As he's going forward, I don't know if we're still on horseback or not,
Nah,
but
kind of in the woods at this point.
yeah, but as he approaches, he'll go, "Warriors, nay, friends, take to the field, take to the battlefield of life." Point his sword at the troll. "You there, troll, you cannot run. I say, you there, troll, you cannot hide." Start banging his shield again. He goes, "I am the keeper of the laws, decided by the gods. Your time here ends now." And do the same thing. Spend my last bonus die on inspiration, but I'm doing attack first. Oh, I get a reroll the feat die.
That's the best. That's one of
That's the best ability ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
6, 7, 9, 11. That will not hit, but I get my inspiration roll. Inspire +1 die.
Okay.
I get to reroll that. That's a common skill.
Inspire is a common skill.
Oh God.
Yep.
Saved.
Oh, you probably shouldn't. If it's common skill, you probably shouldn't be able to re-roll the combat ones.
Yeah, I think it's one or the
No,
other.
no. The fact that my value allows me to include combat rolls.
Oh,
Oh.
that's pretty badass.
nice.
Yeah.
So that'd be extraordinary success then.
Yeah. I can't go higher than extraordinary, so that's 4 stamina. By 4.
Yeah, if you've been hit.
Get Grimbrand for you, me.
Right before.
Oh, it's it's Aglaron's turn.
Agron. It's gonna put him down.
Do it.
Right in the throat.
Ooh.
It's Edge.
7.
Edge.
Edge. It is edge.
Of course he
Shrugs,
eyes.
shrugs it off. But he still takes 7. So this arrow juts in his throat and he starts to sway a little bit. He reaches up with his free hand, snaps it off. After I'm done with these fellas, I'm coming after you, pointy ears.
Aguilar
turns.
makes a rude gesture.
Jack the Baker then takes his hammer and just swings overhead, brings it down towards Dwathrog.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to spend 1 point of hate to double his character damage, to add his character damage to that, so 15. 15 damage for you, son.
And that about cuts me in half.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best ability Gondor has once you get that Valor over
And
Wisdom.
yeah, you are wary now, Dwathrog.
Ooh.
You are wary. You are wary.
Golly.
All right, back to the top.
Me. Ooh.
Nice.
Extraordinary. That's 14 plus 9, 23.
That one's gonna leave a mark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now what does this look like? As he does not think this one's a toothpick.
Yeah, so after he hits Dwarthrock,
No, not the ranger. Your fight's with me. Me.
and just run at him and just jab it in his neck and just kind of dig it deep and just twist it around and then pull it away before he tries to backhand me.
As it pulls out, just dark blood just sprays everyone. He kind of spins around. Ah! He drops his hammer and just has both of his hands at his neck. Dwathrog, are you still going to be in forward stance?
At this point, he's oh gosh, he's gonna stay. He's hurt, but he's gonna keep pressing his attack because I need a little help there. All right.
Ooh.
Oh, wary.
Now,
So how's it look as you can barely lift your sword up anymore?
after taking the big hammer blow, he falls back, and then he's seeing double. So it's like two big beasts in front of him now, and he feels himself exhausted and exasperated. Grabs his sword and with all his might swings and barely gets it off the ground. And swinging at the wrong one.
All right, Berendir.
You'll make me want to go to open just to try and get it off of you. But I'm gonna keep doing my thing. His brow furrow because he doesn't like the fact that this troll's whooping on his friends. I have sworn in oath and blood to defend the land, and all who wish to test us still, well, here I am. He'll bang his shield as loud as he can. He'll face me. I am the keeper of the law, decided by the gods. Your time ends now. And typical attack, inspire.
Is that 5 damage?
It's a great success. 12.
So regular.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No. It was delay in the rolls. I saw a 6 up. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just 5 damage.
5. So you hit him. It starts to spin towards you. He's still spinning around, spraying blood everywhere. It's about to go down.
Oh, I get a reroll. Saving my ass tonight.
Jesus. What was that, like 10 eyes open?
It's 14. Yeah, it's 3 stamina.
Grimbrand gets 3 back. No, Dwathrog gets 3 back now too.
Yeah, don't help much.
Aglaron. If you hit him, you finish it. He's down.
Don't put that pressure on him. Why would you do that?
Channel your inner iron.
Use both eyes instead of none. Oh!
No way.
2, 3, 3, 1.
If you
Oh, Raven, I love you.
Oh yeah, you could hope it.
Right, that's a Bo's body, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a
So
body
your
of a
body is
5.
5. Yeah, your body is 5, so you could hit him.
Want to get the extra die for being in the woods too.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Hey!
Oh!
That turns it into a great success.
12.
Which tell me how hard he falls as he goes down.
Agron shoots him right sort of beside the neck wound from the spear, cuts the other artery. He sways a bit, crashes to the ground, barely missing Grimbrand and Duathrog.
Crashes to the ground. And the scene goes quiet. Now that you can kind of see the scene around you, there's that dwarf lays unconscious on the ground at the base of a tree. There's at least 2 other sets of dwarf armor nearby. And there's just kind of like streaks of blood everywhere. And like near the fire, you just see like a hand.
We have done a great deed.
This isn't any kind of cooking I'd want to be a part of.
Besmirching the culinary arts.
Dothwarg would make his way over to the dwarf and giving him a few pokes.
Hey! No! Don't eat me! Don't!
Relax. We don't have the hunger for dwarf today.
Haven't the stomach for you, Master Dwarf.
Oh? What? Oh, I must be dead then.
Well, does it feel like you're dead?
He kind of stands up, just kind of shakes his head as he's shaking the cobwebs out of his mind. And he runs over and sees that troll there. He starts kicking him. Good riddance, you old troll! I think we're going to end it there tonight, actually.
Seems
Yeah,
alright.
let's just end it. We'll pick it up last time and get straight into the action. So, all right.
Yeah, he'd start fussing over 2 wounded, of course, post-battle.
I think
All
my
right.
healing ability is sort of in the pack some dirt in it, right?
That's it.
I can make you a stew. Might help with the healing process.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Hey, I got 3 points of favored battle. Be able to put a band-aid on.
Go ahead and stop
All
it
right.
there.
Well, thanks.